you ever looked at your bank statement and wondered where all your money went? That was me just a month ago. I realized I was spending on things I didn't even remember buying. So I decided to challenge myself, no unnecessary spending for 30 days. My goal was simple: break the cycle of impulse purchases and see what would happen if I focused only on essentials. In this video, I'll walk you through my journey, the lessons I learned, and how it changed my relationship with money. Let's start with why I took on this challenge in the first place. Before I started, I needed clear rules. I allowed myself to spend on rent, groceries, and bills, nothing else. No takeout, no new clothes, no online shopping. I even made a list of what counted as a necessity and what didn't. This helped me stay accountable and avoid making excuses. It was tough to draw the line, but having these boundaries made the challenge real. I also told a friend about my plan for extra accountability. With the rules set, I was ready to begin my 30-day experiment. First week was the hardest. I was so used to grabbing coffee on the go or ordering food when I felt lazy. Suddenly I had to plan my meals and make coffee at home. I caught myself reaching for my phone to shop online out of boredom. It was eye-opening to see how often I spent money just for convenience or entertainment. By the end of the week, I started noticing my triggers and found ways to distract myself, like going for a walk or reading a book. Everywhere I looked, there were temptations. Ads on social media, sales emails, friends inviting me out for dinner. It felt like the world was designed to make me spend. I had to get creative, declining invitations, unsubscribing from marketing emails, and even deleting shopping apps from my phone. It wasn't easy, but each time I resisted, I felt a little more in control. I realized how much of my spending was influenced by outside pressure rather than actual need. One of the biggest changes was meal planning. Instead of ordering takeout, I started cooking at home. I made a weekly grocery list and stuck to it. Not only did I save money, but I also ate healthier. Cooking became a fun activity and I even tried new recipes. It was satisfying to see my fridge full of ingredients instead of leftovers from restaurants. This small change made a big difference in both my budget and my well-being. Socializing without spending money was a challenge. I had to get creative with my plans. Instead of meeting friends at restaurants, we went for walks in the park or had movie nights at home. I realized that spending time together didn't have to mean spending money. These moments felt more meaningful and less rushed. It was a reminder that connection isn't about where you go, but who you're with. I quickly learned how much I relied on impulse purchases for instant gratification. Whether it was a new gadget or a snack at the checkout, these small buys added up. I started pausing before every purchase, asking myself if I really needed it. Most of the time, the answer was no. This simple habit helped me break the cycle of mindless spending and made me more intentional with my money. To stay motivated, I tracked every dollar I spent. I used a simple spreadsheet to record my expenses and compare them to previous months. Seeing the numbers drop was incredibly motivating. It also helped me spot patterns, like how much I used to spend on coffee or snacks. Tracking my progress kept me accountable and made the benefits of this challenge tangible. I realized there were plenty of ways to have fun without spending money. I explored local parks, went hiking, and rediscovered old hobbies like drawing and reading. These activities were not only free but also fulfilling. I found joy in simple pleasures and learned that entertainment doesn't have to come with a price tag. This shift in mindset made my days feel richer even without spending. There were moments when I felt left out, especially when friends shared photos from dinners or shopping trips. The fear of missing out was real, but I reminded myself why I started this challenge. I focused on my own goals and found satisfaction in sticking to my plan. Over time, the FOMO faded and I became more comfortable with my choices. It was empowering to prioritize my financial well-being over temporary pleasures. Saying no was harder than I expected. Whether it was declining a sale or turning down an invitation, I had to practice setting boundaries. At first, I worried about disappointing others, but I realized that true friends understood my goals. Saying no became easier with time, and it taught me the value of standing by my decisions. This skill will help me long after the challenge is over. The second week, I started noticing real savings. My bank balance wasn't dropping as quickly, and I had extra money left over at the end of each week. It was surprising how much I used to spend on little things that didn't add value to my life. These savings gave me a sense of security and opened up possibilities for future goals like travel or investing. Challenge made me more mindful of every dollar I spent. I started asking myself if each purchase aligned with my values and needs. This new awareness helped me avoid wasteful spending and focus on what truly mattered. Mindful spending became a habit, not just a rule for the challenge. It changed the way I viewed money and made me feel more in control. Of course, life doesn't always go as planned. During the challenge, I had a small emergency, a flat tire. I had to dip into my emergency fund, but because I wasn't spending on other things, it didn't hurt my budget as much. This experience reminded me of the importance of having a financial cushion and being prepared for the unexpected. One of the biggest lessons was learning to distinguish between wants and needs. I realized how often I convinced myself that something was a necessity when it really was. By questioning my motives, I became better at prioritizing what truly mattered. This shift in perspective helped me cut out unnecessary expenses and focus on what added real value to my life. I discovered that I often spent money when I was stressed, bored, or sad. Shopping became a way to cope with emotions. During the challenge, I had to find healthier ways to deal with these feelings, like exercising or talking to a friend. Recognizing my emotional triggers was a game changer and helped me break the cycle of emotional spending. As I stopped buying new things, I started looking at what I already owned. I realized I had a lot of stuff I didn't use, so I spent a weekend decluttering and selling items online. Not only did I make some extra cash, but I also felt lighter and more organized. This process made me appreciate what I had and think twice before bringing new things into my home. The third week, my new habits started to stick. I no longer felt the urge to shop out of boredom, and meal planning became second nature. I found myself enjoying free activities and spending more time with friends and family. These positive changes made the challenge feel less like a sacrifice and more like a lifestyle upgrade. Challenge made me much more aware of my financial situation. I checked my bank account more often and paid closer attention to where my money was going. This awareness helped me make better decisions and avoid falling back into old habits. I started to feel more confident about my finances and my ability to manage them. One unexpected benefit was a deeper sense of gratitude. Instead of focusing on what I didn't have, I started appreciating what I already owned. I realized that I didn't need more things to be happy. This shift in mindset made me feel more content and less driven by consumerism. During the challenge, I found myself encouraging friends and family to try their own no-spend days. Sharing my experience sparked conversations about money and helped others reflect on their own habits. It felt good to support each other and build a sense of community around mindful spending. Not spending money forced me to get creative. When something broke, I tried to fix it myself instead of buying a replacement. I borrowed books from the library instead of buying new ones. These small acts of resourcefulness saved money and gave me a sense of accomplishment. I learned that there's often a solution that doesn't involve spending. For the challenge, I often spent more as my income increased. This is called lifestyle inflation, when your spending rises with your earnings. The no-spend month helped me break this habit and realize that more money doesn't have to mean more spending. I became more intentional about how I used any extra income. As I bought less, I started to embrace a minimalist mindset. I valued quality over quantity and focused on experiences rather than things. This shift made my life feel less cluttered and more meaningful. Minimalism isn't about having nothing, it's about having enough and appreciating it. Looking back, I realized how many of my old habits were driven by convenience and advertising. I used to buy things just because they were on sale or because everyone else had them. The challenge helped me break free from these patterns and make choices that aligned with my values. With the money I saved, I started building an emergency fund. Having this safety net gave me peace of mind and reduced my financial stress. It was empowering to know that I was prepared for unexpected expenses. This is a habit I plan to continue long after the challenge. Instead of spending on things, I invested time in myself. I took free online courses, read books, and worked on personal projects. These investments paid off in ways that shopping never could. I felt more fulfilled and motivated to keep growing. Without the distraction of shopping or eating out, I had more free time. I used this time to focus on hobbies, connect with loved ones, and rest. My days felt more productive and balanced. I realized that spending money isn't the only way to enjoy life. I became more aware of how advertising influenced my spending. I learned to question marketing messages and avoid impulse buys triggered by ads. This awareness helped me make more conscious choices and resist the pressure to keep up with trends. Throughout the month, I celebrated small victories, like making it through a week without takeout or sticking to my grocery list. These moments of success kept me motivated and reminded me that progress is made one step at a time. Celebrating small wins made the challenge feel rewarding. I wasn't perfect, there were a couple of slip-ups along the way, but instead of giving up, I learned from my mistakes and got back on track. The important thing was progress, not perfection. Each mistake was a chance to reflect and improve. With my new savings, I started thinking about bigger financial goals. Whether it was saving for a trip, investing, or paying off debt, I felt more confident about my ability to reach these milestones. The challenge gave me a sense of direction and purpose with my money. As the challenge went on, I started sharing my experience online. I connected with others who were also trying to save money. Sharing tips and stories made the journey more enjoyable and helped me stay accountable. It was inspiring to see how many people were on a similar path. One of the most powerful lessons was learning to delay gratification. Instead of buying things right away, I waited and thought about whether I really needed them. Most of the time, the urge passed. This skill helped me avoid impulse buys and make more thoughtful decisions. During the challenge, I reviewed all my subscriptions, streaming services, apps, and memberships. I realized I wasn't using most of them. Canceling unnecessary subscriptions freed up extra money each month and simplified my finances. I started to value experiences over things. Instead of shopping, I spent time outdoors, tried new recipes, and enjoyed simple moments with loved ones. These experiences brought me more happiness than any purchase ever could. As the 30 days came to an end, I reflected on how much I had changed. I felt more in control of my money, less stressed, and more content with what I had. The challenge wasn't always easy, but it was worth it. I realized that I didn't miss most of the things I used to buy. The biggest lesson was that happiness doesn't come from spending money. I learned to find joy in simple things, be more intentional with my purchases, and appreciate what I have. The challenge taught me valuable skills that I'll carry forward, like budgeting, planning, and mindful spending. Even though the challenge is over, many of the habits I built have stuck with me. I still question my purchases, plan my meals, and look for free ways to have fun. These changes have made my life simpler, less stressful, and more fulfilling. If you're thinking about trying a no-spend challenge, my advice is to start small and set clear rules. Track your progress, celebrate your wins, and don't be too hard on yourself if you slip up. The most important thing is to learn and grow from the experience. The challenge gave me a taste of financial freedom. I realized that I have the power to control my spending and shape my financial future. This sense of freedom is more valuable than anything I could buy. I'm excited to keep building on these habits and see where they take me. With my new perspective, I'm planning for the future. I'm setting savings goals, creating a budget, and thinking about long-term investments. The challenge was just the beginning of my journey toward financial wellness. I hope my story inspires others to take control of their finances. Whether it's a no-spend challenge or just being more mindful, every step counts. Together, we can build healthier habits and support each other on the path to financial well-being. After 30 days, my relationship with money has completely changed. I see it as a tool to create the life I want, not just something to spend. This new mindset has brought me peace, confidence, and a sense of purpose. I'm grateful for the lessons and excited for what's next. To sum up, my 30-day no-spend challenge was more than just a way to save money. It was a journey of self-discovery and growth. I learned to appreciate what I have, build better habits, and take control of my finances. If you're looking for a fresh start with your money, I encourage you to give it a try. You might be surprised by what you discover.